You know, one of the very first people to send us an email when we began looking for Canadians who are sharing acts of kindness was a rabbi from Vancouver who wrote to us about the people who are members of his synagogue at Temple Sholom and the kinds of connections that they have made and the kinds of things that they are doing, prompted by his message. And it really got us thinking. It's a wonderful conversation with which to end our week. So let's meet Rabbi Dan Moskovitz, senior rabbi at Temple Sholom, as I said, in Vancouver, up very early to talk about kindness, and that is a kind act on your own part. So welcome to our program, Rabbi. It's nice to have you as our guest.
Thank you, Heather. Good to be here, even though it's early.
Well, listen, go back a little bit for me, if you would, because what you're doing there in your synagogue actually started with your message at Yom Kippur, the Jewish high holidays,
Right.
last one. And what was your message then? What did you say to your congregation, and what did you challenge them to do?
Well, this is back in October, and I think that we all felt that there was a lot going on in the world that was beyond our control. And I wanted to give a message to my congregation that there were things that were within our control and that we could extend kindness to others, and that would allow us to not only change others, but to change ourselves as well. That when we do that, when we reach out to others, it's kind of like making the world bigger a bit and opening up the aperture of a camera lens to see beyond ourselves. It helps the person, and it helps the person who's giving the kindness as well. So I challenged them to do that. And in doing that, we created a website that was a kindness exchange.
But hold on, I'll bring that up so people can see it, because we want people to have that connection. There's the website, and there's that, and there it is. So the message and the website and the challenge, and from that flow just some extraordinary connections. Share some of those with us.
Right. So the first post on that website was actually from a 91-year-old grandmother. This was anonymous, but I kind of knew who she was. And she needed somebody to drive her to her hair appointments and to Safeway to go grocery shopping. And I'm told that she was inundated with over a dozen offers of people to help her with that. And the person she connected with is a mom in our congregation with a teenage child. And they've now made this their weekly event. And they didn't know each other before, and they've become best of friends, and clearly the kind of companionship that they both needed. She gets her hair done.
Interestingly, you actually suggested that I speak to the two of them. They're not just kind, but they're modest. They wanted to stay anonymous, so it's nice that you're able to tell that story. But there's some other, some other connections, too, that are really important to highlight from refugees within the community.
Yeah, we've sponsored now, I think, over 14 new Canadians. There were refugees, asylum seekers here in Canada. And each of them come with their own challenges. One, the apartment that we found for them happened to have a pool in the complex, but coming from Turkey and Syria, really, they'd never swam before. So when we put that out there was a congregant who was a lifeguard and a swim instructor and came to their apartment over the summer and taught them how to swim. We gave bicycles are big in Vancouver. We gave another family bicycles, but they didn't know how to ride bikes. And so the congregant that donated the bicycles also taught them how to ride a bike. I mean, those basic things. So important.
Has it been more than you expected? The response different, perhaps, from what you expected when you put this out?
You know, it's been, as you said at the opening, it's been contagious. Kindness is a contagion, and it has spread, and one kind act leads to another. And I just see this rippling beyond the website, and I think it's something that not only our congregation can do, but any community group, neighborhood, other houses of worship, community centers, to have that kind of exchange, because people don't know where the help is needed, but they really want to give the help.
But I think it's wonderful that you've highlighted what would seem to be small gestures, a haircut or a swimming lesson or a bike, and yet so meaningful to the people who are on the receiving end. I wonder if you're experiencing a little bit what we are. When we invited people to share stories of people's acts of kindness and to nominate people for what they're doing in their communities and lives, we've been really surprised by the message. It's like, thank you for doing this. We need it so much right now. And I don't know if you're seeing that reflected within your congregation too, that kind of spirit of, kindness. We can hang on to that.
Well, it really goes back to the purpose of the sermon, which was to lift people up. We've been through a lot. There's still a lot going on in our world, and it really is elevating and a reminder of the human connection that we all have. I think many of us have been on the receiving end of kindness, and we know how powerful that can be. We can do that for others.
It's an undervalued characteristic and value, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. I think that we sometimes hold back, not wanting to interfere in people's lives, thinking that maybe our offers or our gestures won't be welcome. But I've never met anybody who didn't at least appreciate the offer, and many who have received it have had their lives changed. And I would say the other is that the person who is giving that kindness, they also receive in return. Out of despair, perhaps despair of another, comes our own purpose. It's our reason to get up in the morning, is perhaps for another person, not just ourselves.
I dare say there will be similar messages in synagogues and in churches at this time of year to that which you delivered back on Yom Kippur. Thank you for the time today. You're heading into the Festival of Lights, I know, for Hanukkah as of Sunday night. We're highlighting those who are bringing light to their community, and I thank you for your help in doing so. Thanks, Rabbi.
Thank you. Happy Hanukkah.